So Connacht then, I mean, Keats alluded to it, Rory, they're in a much improved place. They've won 4 out of 6 in the Pro 14. Could easily have been 6 out of 6 the way the Christmas period has gone for them. And I was looking, like this time last year, how miserable it was under Kieran Keane. They were out of playoff contention in the Pro 14. They're 12 points better off this season. First double over Ulster, and just the general mood down there is far happier. So they're in a great place, really, by comparison with last year.
Absolutely, and I think I don't have the table in front of me. I think it's 5 of their 6 defeats have been bonus point defeats.
Right.
So they're well in every game they're playing in, which even for putting bums on seats, is, you know you're getting a contest no matter what Connacht team show up. And I think they'd be kicking themselves that they weren't able to feel a little bit of a stronger team at the weekend, because they were able to lift themselves above Munster and into second place behind the kind of an ailing Glasgow. Glasgow have run into a few issues recently, so they would have put themselves right in contention for topping the conference, but they're still in contention to get to a playoff place. But first time since 2016, they've kind of lost that momentum of that title win that season. But it looks like Friend has just come in, breath of fresh air, and brought a bit of he's discovered a few gems in the setup. I mean, Tom Farrell was playing Championship Rugby a year ago. They signed him from Bedford, and he's turned into a guy who looks like he'll certainly get into the Six Nations squad. And Paul Boyle on the flank, a kid who no one had really heard of until pre-season. He just spotted him straight away and said, right, let's get him in. He probably got recommended by the academy guys. So it's a callow enough squad, and it's always moving parts. There's a lot of interest in their players from other provinces, and players might move on at the end of the year, as always is the case at Connacht. So there's almost a sense they need to strike while the opportunity's there. But they certainly are playing for their coach, and they're getting the crowd behind them as well. Yeah,
there's no doubt, in a capacity crowd on Saturday. So Farrell, did he have an underage pedigree?
He was in the Leicester Academy. Yeah, he would have played underage, up the ranks, but he wasn't one of those that you would have heard a lot about, I don't think, when he was coming through. I wouldn't know a huge amount about him, to be honest, but he's just burst onto the scene this season. It just shows when he gives someone an opportunity sometimes.
Yeah. I would dare say a lot of people saw Farrell properly for the first time on Saturday when he wrestled the ball out of Arno, both his hands. He's one of the top offloaders in the Pro 14. There was the break in the pass for the Kelleher try, and he has the misfortune of playing in a position where, frankly, there's about 20 other fellas who are rather good.
We have a few. I love the fact that you said you didn't really know him, because the journos would normally have chapter and verse on all these guys, and I was looking at him saying, where the hell did he come out of? And I know I've seen him before, but you kind of need a standout performance sometimes if the name isn't up there. And look, I thought that was a kind of half a joke of a try. That's the
one from both.
Yeah. But that wasn't why he played so well the other day. I thought he played very well defensively. I thought he played really well in attack. He looked sharp, but he looked a lovely balanced runner, and he's a player that suits Connacht. I was going to say for I don't know how many matches that there are in that sort of Six Nations window where there are still a few matches that go on in terms of that period of time. Connacht will be missing some players, but will not be missing a huge number of players. That is a big window for them. And back in the time when they won it, they managed to keep all their players, virtually bar one, I think it was, to go and play and to compete, and they reaped a fairly large number of points at that stage. Even with the sort of youth that they had to show, and the academy guys that they showed the other day coming off the bench, when you're playing against teams that are showing of huge amounts of internationals, you have a great chance. And look, I like the way they play.
Yeah.
And I have to say, there's one of the things we kind of bypass every now and then is rugby is about enjoyment, not just for the fans but also for the players. They haven't enjoyed losing those games, but they are playing a style that I think most rugby players would say, God, I wouldn't mind having an all cut at that. There's a bit of freedom to it too.